All people's resistance will certainly triumph under the banner of anti-imperialism and anti-fascism. The most crucial criterion distinguishing progressives from reactionaries today is their stance on war. In this sense, the true progressive forces of our era hold a clear anti-imperialist, anti-fascist, and anti-war position. Those who take an anti-Russia stance by echoing imperialist propaganda, branding Russia an aggressor, or who oppose Iran and the axis of resistance, while effectively supporting Israeli Zionists, are nothing more than pro-imperialist forces disguised as progressives. The same applies to their stance on Venezuela. The so-called communist forces that distort Venezuela's Bolivarian revolution and level both the past Chavez regime and the current Maduro regime as imperialist regimes are fake communist forces with no connection whatsoever to communism or Marxism-Leninism. The reason the international communist movement cannot unite as one, and the reason it continues to face serious obstacles in conducting scientific analysis of the situation and formulating revolutionary strategy, is as history shows, because within it look sectarian opportunist forces connected with the imperialist spices and the lackeys. These cancerous presence, these enemies within that divide the international communist movement, have also deliberately and mercilessly fomented division in the Venezuelan communist movement. U.S. imperialism facing a severe political and economic crisis is massing vast military forces in the Caribbean in an attempt to seize Venezuela's oil and turn the country into another flashpoint. Just as the war in Palestine immediately expanded into a regional conflict across West Asia, a war in Venezuela will inevitably spread into a regional war encompassing all Latin America. This would be a crushing burden for U.S. imperialism, which cannot hope to secure simultaneously victorious on multiple fronts. U.S. imperialism, while threatening to turn Venezuela into a second Syria, is deploying destroyers, submarines, stealth bombers, and marines in nearby waters, while at the same time attempting to bribe and divide Venezuelan leaders, just as it did when topping Saddam Hussein's regime in Iraq. But Venezuela is entirely different from Syria or Iraq. The decisive difference lies in the single-hearted unity of all the comunas centered on the Maduro government, which holds the Bolivarian revolution as its very lifeblood. The comuna itself is a militia. Its resistance is a resistance of the entire people. A nation where the leader, the party, the army, and the people are fully united as one, and the fight to the last will never collapse. Despite the outbreak of the war in Ukraine in February 2022, Solidnet, the recognized center of the international communist movement, failed in its role. All the events and activities carried out by the World Anti-imperialist Platform have been directly consistent with the three goals set as its founding: advancing the anti-imperialist struggle, waging the ideological battle against opportunism, and strengthening the communist movement. Following March 2023, we once again gather here today, in October 2025, to support the just struggle and all people's resistance of the Venezuelan people who have raised the banner of the anti-imperialism and anti-fascism. For the victory of the Venezuelan people, we are ready to gather 10 times, 100 times, and we will do everything in our power. The people united will never be defeated. We have not the slightest doubt in the Venezuelan people's victory. We are certain of the final triumph of the Venezuelan Bolivarian revolution. the realization of Chavez's testament, Comuna o Nada, and the socialist achievements of the Maduro government. Imperialist oppression and aggression will inevitably fail, and the Venezuelan people, having risen in people's resistance, will turn this crisis into an opportunity to accelerate their advance toward socialism. Today in Venezuela, the spirit of the Cuban Revolution and of the Che Guevara shines brightly. Victory to the Bolivarian Revolution! Victory to Chavez! Victory to Maduro! Hasta la victoria siempre!